Primal in the first semi-final of the night. Primal is ready, is in the lobby, and all the players are just waiting to get on the pitch and get this game going. Ninja, I want to ask you what you think. I think we're both going to have the same answer to that. Do you think First Killer's got this?
I kind of do, at least based off of what we can find, which isn't much. Primal apparently has some sort of YouTube presence, based on what I can find. He's played in a few tournaments from what we can find, but that's kind of it. And they were tournaments from long ago, so maybe he's a little bit rusty, but he made it this far. It could be a run for First Killer's money, but still, it's on First Killer.
Yeah, I think so too. Primal's definitely going to have a tough time to beat one of the toughest names in 1v1 to date. So the players are ready, and we'll be joining the pitch momentarily. First match is on, best of 5. Winner moves on to the final. First Killer obviously looking for a second win in a row, looking to stay the, well, only victor in 2019. So far, I mean, there's only been 2 tournaments, but that's already a strong start. Game 1 is now underway. First Killer going to cut that to the long post. Overshoot that a little bit, but stay in ball control. And Primal struggling to run after that. First Killer actually going to give him some space here. Catch that ball off of the back wall. And contest the follow-up opportunity from Primal. Doesn't really have enough boost to immediately wrap around the ball, and First Killer is going to try to go down Main Street. Pops the ball past the midfield line. Primal transitioning into a dribble, just waiting for the cut. Not a lot of boost to go on. Is running on pads right now and doing a good job at picking them up. But that was a wonderful pop-up into the air from First Killer to make Primal jump into absolutely nothing. And he will score first blood.
Yeah, it's a beautiful pop-up here. The follow-up there by First Killer. Primal, low on boost. Trying to get there as quick as possible. Actually, I think he just picked up 100 can. So just couldn't quite get the pop there. It's tough to predict when that will happen, and especially with a player like First Killer who will just change it up every single time he touches.
Yeah, First Killer is definitely highly, highly dangerous on the ball, and he proves it yet again. Transitions into an air dribble off of the wall. Puts that in without too much trouble.
Yeah, First Killer kind of almost looks like he's warming up a bit. Flips up under the ball and just stays as unpredictable as possible. Pretty much every single time. We don't know what he's going to do next.
Well, about a minute in, it's already a 2-goal lead on the board for First Killer. Primal pushing forward, but First Killer doing a good job at sneaking the ball past him, taking it away from him. There's the demolition to wrestle control of the ball back, and Primal's going to look for the middle of the net. First Killer saw that one coming, gets the save. Primal with a back pass, picks up a fresh canister, tries to go for the fake. But First Killer saw that one coming, didn't jump, and ultimately blocked Primal's attempt to push the ball forward. Right-hand corner of the field now. First Killer completely out of boost, still showing a lot of presence up in front. Picks up the canister on his way back.
Oh, what a 50.
Blocks Primal's advance past the midfield line. Immediately launches a shot on target, but Primal has got that one covered for the time being. Now another wraparound. Primal, will he go for the bump onto First Killer? Doesn't have enough boost to actually follow it up, and First Killer with a beautiful back pass to keep that ball out of Primal's hands is in full control of the game right now. Primal's doing a good job at defending most of the balls that First Killer gets there, and he actually beats him to the ball off of the sidewall to get his first goal on the board.
That's it right there. Primal just beat First Killer to the ball before it even hit the sidewall on the play, and that's it. A pretty simple goal there for Primal, and from the other side of the pitch, manages to slam that one home. First Killer was a little bit surprised by that, I think.
Yeah, certainly was, since he was nowhere near home for that one. And it's one step on the way to the equalizer. Good shot from First Killer. That one will find the net. Scored that one off of a 50-50. Well done.
Yeah, well done indeed here. First Killer was able to grab ball control, get it away from Primal more than anything, and keep the momentum going in the direction that he wanted to go, and slam that one home. Primal way off into the corner, just kind of the way the momentum of himself carried him. Still got plenty of time to respond, but First Killer seems to be kind of taking it easy this first game and forcing Primal to rethink just about everything about one's life, apparently.
Yeah, certainly looks like it. Good clear off of the... Oh, good clear off of the crossbar. First Killer does get his reset. With Primal just jumping in there, will have enough boost to go for the cut, and First Killer can't beat him back. So the goal lead is only back to 1.
You said it. Again, fairly simple goal. It's kind of nice. It's a little refreshing to see a player kind of get back to basics when it comes to one strategy. And the way that Primal is handling the ball, yeah, it's more of a quick style, but it's working for him. It's working very well. As you see off the kickoff, he'll miss that, but he had to rush the play a little bit.
First Killer now rushing all by himself. Stops the ball, gets into the middle of the field, can't quite get the wraparound in time, and Primal throwing a wrench into his carefully crafted out machine. Will get it off of the backboard. Second touch, gets it off of the goalpost. Good attempt. And Primal will be pushing forward, taking the boost canister away from First Killer as well. He'll pick up his own corner boost, so he will be good. Clear into the midfield. First Killer bumping against his own goalpost, but Primal can't put the shot away. He hits the crossbar, and First Killer will seamlessly pick it up from there. And the primer off of the sidewall. First Killer is going to wait on the midfield line. Very patient to not let Primal cross that one. 50-50. Puts Primal in a position to potentially wrap around, but once again, he does have no boost for that move. I think that's the second or third time that's happened, and First Killer just effortlessly wrapping around the ball in a wide rotation. And Primal, not really realizing what First Killer was going for, went for boost and tried to contest the ball. Should have made a beeline for the net.
Well, Primal also jumped for that, and then he side flipped. So I'm going to go with the field side flip man, I should say. On the play there, Primal had the right idea, I think. Just a little bit of a nervous execution. He couldn't quite finish that one off. Just left the goal open, and First Killer playing quite patient. He's got a fairly comfortable lead, and you can tell that First Killer's not really pushing the subject too hard. I'd almost say this was a feel-out game for him, but he's not necessarily shutting Primal down. As you can see, a little bit of mind games here.
Yeah, and Primal giving First Killer a little bit too much space on that one. He's very low on boost, and that seems to be a running problem for Primal's boost management. Anytime he needs the boost for a crucial play, just doesn't really have it. Does a good job at going for pads whenever he can, but ultimately seems to be burning a little bit too much on his pushes forward, while First Killer is doing a much better job at conserving his boost to make sure that he has it available for any and all plays that might arise.
That's something that First Killer's always been pretty good at, even in his Nexus days over a year ago now. It's been so long since all that went down, but First Killer has always been known for being able to save his boost and just able to get the 50-50s that he's looking for the most part. And it is ones. You're going to get scored on, but First Killer has so much patience. He just plays it out and doesn't necessarily allow his opponent, in this case it's Primal, to really take control of the game basically ever. And that's more or less his style, until he comes up against someone who can really keep up with his own thought processes. That said, I mean, Primal did a pretty good job, all things considered. We're having a little bit of a hard time contacting him, but all things considered, it's pretty good. I'm rather impressed.
Well, he's been holding his own, but the thing with First Killer's matches is usually that the first game, especially against opponents that he might not have played against before, tends to be rather slow. And then from the second game onwards, he kind of turns things up a notch. And I'm curious to see whether this will happen this time around as well. Usually in a First Killer series, you'll find the first game to be won by, well, not quite as large a margin as you would expect. And that, for him to turn things up to 11 in the second game, and then we'll start seeing the really big leads come out. Game 2 is now underway. We'll get this bounce off of the backboard. Primal no chance to clear that one off to the corners, so First Killer will get his first goal 25 seconds in.
Actually, First Killer kind of let Primal take a shot at him. And when it missed, he just took control of the ball, sends it to the other side and right into the net. The Punisher in First Killer starting to come out.
Yeah, if you don't take that opportunity, you will be punished for it. It's going to be a kickoff goal for Primal here to tie things right back up.
Pretty straightforward kickoff goal here, First Killer. Didn't get the touch he was looking for, and Primal was the one to follow through. Just barely got there, just a touch late, and scored it out in his favor. Of course, have to take control of that, and so we're dead even again. plenty of time left. We'll see what happens here. Is Primal off a kickoff
Primal.
again?
Oh, nice! I thought that might go wide, but no, it hit it square into the lower left corner.
Again, straightforward.
Ooh.
Seems like Primal is fairly confident when he gets behind the ball, and especially when unchallenged. So obviously deserves to be here. He's showing the skill. Just a matter of if First Killer can maybe crank it up another notch. I think this is more along the lines of a 9 compared to the normal 11 that we would see from him about this time in the match.
Good clear from Primal. We'll get that off of the side wall, immediately convert it into a shot. First Killer getting a little too confident for his own good.
That nail on the head. It was exactly that. You know, First Killer not playing at the speed that he would normally play, I think, and he's just got to crank it up a little bit, and he'll catch right back up. But Primal, he seizes the opportunity. It's very much like a certain Robin Williams movie. Oh, a big bump, though.
That's a big bump indeed. First Killer immediately wrapping around the ball. Primal taking quite a bit of time to recover after being, well, pretty much blasted into the stratosphere. So First Killer will have this clean net to score on.
I think that's First Killer's way of saying, welcome to Beyond.
Yeah. I'm going to turn you into an astronaut, is what he is saying. First minute has passed, and we have 5 goals on the board in total, so relatively high scoring. First Killer will find a kickoff goal, or let's say pseudo kickoff goal, simply because Primal didn't really push the opportunity. And I'm not sure if Primal, I guess that was a momentary lapse in decision-making because he decided to go back, and then at the last moment, he broke off his path, went to the middle, but First Killer was primed and ready for the shot.
Yeah, and that's one of those things that, you know, one's experience will show you. Primal is GC, for those wondering. We did check that out. Oh, First Killer, what is that touch? We don't expect that from First Killer ever.
That was very uncharacteristic indeed. Primal drives it down the corner, and First Killer completely gets caught out by that. Wedges the ball in between himself and the wall. And that allows for Primal to just come in when it eventually rolls out and score. And this might be another kickoff goal opportunity for Primal. He puts it forward, comes down out of the backboard, goes for the double tap, gets the dunk past First Killer, and that's a 2-goal lead for Primal.
Primal clearly been working on his kickoffs for sure. Granted, this is the first time that I've seen him play technically, but goes for the bump on First Killer too. Pretty standard procedure in ones. First Killer not really surprised by that, I don't think. But a 2-goal lead in ones isn't necessarily the end-all be-all by any means. It really just comes down to if First Killer can respond in kind, which we all kind of know that he can. So we hold on with bated breath while First Killer moves down the pitch.
Certainly does, but Primal doing a good job at stopping his advance. Gets bumped out by First Killer now. Second bump attempt ends in empty space, and Primal will use the time to back pass it. Pushes it forward now, not quite on target just yet. Will bounce off of the corner, trying to go for the bump onto First Killer, but ultimately ends up conceding ball control to him. First Killer cannot convert that into a straight goal shot. Tries to get it in front of the pitch. Oh, big misplay on the defense from Primal, and First Killer will capitalize for the 4-5.
And there's the mechanics we were looking for from First Killer. Gets the flip reset, flips out, and recovers very well. The mechanics of that little play, well, not necessarily staggering. Definitely Rocket Daily's worthy for sure. Primal just completely stunned by it.
Yep, Primal did leave him in a nice and empty net to show his bravado on mechanics. So only 1 goal separating those 2 players now. First Killer at the midfield line. Primal trying to cut off his angle, makes a detour for the boost, immediately back to in front of the net. First Killer just shy of scoring that one, gets the rebound though. And Primal just kind of stood there and watched.
And Primal wasn't quite sure what First Killer was going to do right there. First Killer kind of stopped the ball. And it looks like, I want to say Primal may have feels backflipped on that. Just trying to rush the play a little bit and on the pre-jump, possibly. Because that was blockable based off of that position, just didn't quite get it done.
Well, we're past halftime, and we are tied at 5 goals apiece. Oh! And First Killer trying to show a little bit of flair on the ball control, but Primal says, get out of here.
Primal Great patience right there in the corner. Moves it past when First Killer just kind of bobbles on the control there. The Primal was ready to retreat at the same time. Well done.
So lead back on Primal. That might just be another kickoff goal. No, First Killer immediately recovering, going for the back pass, picking up the corner boost. Primal now caught all the way up in front without any boost, and First Killer realizes this, gets the ball past him very quickly, and Primal makes his way back, running on pads. Very quick rotation, well played by Primal to salvage the situation as fast as possible. First Killer again trying to go for the bump, missed, flips, out of boost. Primal is as well though, so he'll be taking his time to get that ball in front of the net. Tries to get the ball past First Killer with the dunk, but ultimately the clear does still come out. Fast-paced game from both players. Primal holding on to his lead and still making some impressive offensive pushes as well. Great bump onto First Killer after he set the ball up for a wraparound. Primal knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he really does. I mean, he made it to the semis in a Beyond tournament. That's nothing to scoff at. Oh!
Push forward, First Killer with the clear. Ball comes back a little further back than Primal expected. Bump onto Primal from First Killer. Will have an empty net to score on here and get the equalizer. This is getting physical.
And it looked like First Killer was expecting Primal to jump for that boost, and instead of going for the ball, he went for the boost. And I mean, you might as well Primal way outside of the play, grab that boost, make sure that Primal couldn't get back to the ball in time. And now we have 12 goals on the scoreboard. This is very much more indicative of a ones match, I should say.
Yeah, it certainly is. High velocity Rocket League. First Killer snatching the ball away from Primal in his own half. Has an empty net to score on. That's about as bread and butter as a 1v1 goal can get.
Yeah, it really is. And Primal just didn't quite defend it properly against the wall, coming off the wall to make that play. The ball was a little bit too far out and didn't have a lot of momentum on it. So Primal didn't really have a whole ton he could do with it there other than just challenge. And First Killer is now wary of those kickoff goals, it seems.
Yeah. They already have cost him 2 goals in this match. Might potentially be more because Primal has got those kickoffs down, and usually it's First Killer who we see score a lot of kickoff goals. Hasn't scored a single one yet against Primal.
Oh, what a bump!
And that is a good bump indeed. Primal will get control of this ball. 30 seconds remaining, needs 1 goal in there, gets a good flick, but First Killer will try to pinch that off of the backboard. Primal still in the midfield, picks up the boost. Gets the ball over First Killer. He's very low on boost here. Oh, demolition onto First Killer. He's going to have a lot of time for that one. First Killer coming in from the side. Will he be able to save this? Yes, he will. Gets the bump off of the goalpost. Primal with his final opportunity. Gets the flick, but First Killer saved that one as well. Stellar defense from First Killer to close off this game. Unbelievable stuff. I thought that post-demo goal was going to go in for sure. Will he get a goal to close off the game? No, just keeps the ball out of reach of Primal. 1 goal lead. Primal was this close to scoring it. Unbelievable.
Very well done there by both players. Man, I'm actually still kind of stunned there. Primal just barely missing. You can tell he was trying to draw out First Killer away from the net as much as possible. And it's a great strategy. I mean, it's solid. Primal, I'm impressed, man. You're doing fantastic. Yeah, you have lost these 2 games, of course, but this last one definitely showed that Primal can hang. And do I expect him to get to the finals? Admittedly, no, not at this point. Yet, I reserve judgment, of course. But I mean, First Killer had his hands full there for a little bit and made a couple of mistakes. So, and for those who follow competitive Rocket League, First Killer did have a run here in the Leipzig Open qualifiers this weekend. So maybe all that threes practice is making his ones just a touch rusty. I mean, it could be that, but the flicks are still there. Everything's still there. It's just a matter of piecing it all together, and that's usually the hardest part here in ones.
First Killer off to an offensive flurry in the first 30 seconds of game number 3, the one that could already take him to the final. And Primal is going to try to make it as tough as possible. And I think Primal has a lot of potential to at least take a game off of First Killer here. And then even a reverse sweep is not completely out of the question at this point. Great save. Off of that shot from First Killer, trying to go for the long range. Gets the dribble, just waiting for the flick until the very last moment. First Killer waited patiently for the entirety of that play. If you're going to try to bait your opponent out, then at some point you're going to have to hope that they're actually going to come out, or your bait is all for nothing. Shot on target coming in from First Killer, bounces off of the frame, but he will get the second touch as Primal expected that one to go in, and thus didn't really make an effort to actually get back to it.
Yeah, Primal kind of knew he was beat on that play. I mean, First Killer can recover so well that... What's kind of the point? I mean, he ran back just in case something happened, but I mean, First Killer, the way that he recovered and the way that he's able to jump up so quickly and score a goal like that, and again off a kickoff, First Killer opening it up to 2.
Yeah, and that's the first kickoff goal that First Killer has scored in the series, actually. All of the other ones have been scored by Primal. It's a 2-goal lead, but Primal has come back from a 2-goal deficit just in the prior game. And he has been in a 2-goal lead at one point as well. So this game is far from over at this point. Snatches away the boost from First Killer. Not really a steal since what was his own. Yet again, tries to just straight up dribble the ball into the net. Not opting to go for a flick. But First Killer has got that one down. What's First Killer doing? Drop down from the ceiling. Primal taking position immediately in the final third. Getting a good flick to finish off the goal.
I'm confused. I don't know exactly what First Killer was doing right there. I don't know if he's trying to make it interesting or maybe playing with his head a little bit. I mean, First Killer plays at a level that is way beyond easily 99% of anyone's player's ability or even strategy, if you will. So usually, I mean, we have seen a lot of First Killer play, and we don't know what the heck that was about.
Yeah. That was certainly strange, but Primal immediately taking advantage of it, whatever it was, and getting himself on the board. He's going to try again. Doesn't go for the flicks, always just tries to stuff the ball past First Killer. That's the third time we've seen him do that. Hasn't really worked out once just yet. Center ball, but the bump onto First Killer prevents him from getting a solid handle on it. So that was well played by Primal. Nearing halftime, and it's only a 1-goal deficit. A total of 3 goals on the board yet again. This time Primal went for the fake, but First Killer, again, is not going to let himself get tricked that easily. Picks up on the clear from First Killer, though, and ties the game up. Well played.
Yeah, Primal with a nice backflip here. Forced First Killer to try to make a touch towards the corner. Didn't go anywhere other than right in front of Primal, who picks it up and throws it right in. Again, standard ones procedure here for Primal, and it's working for him so far.
First Killer making sure that kickoff goal doesn't go in. And transitions into a dribble. Pops the ball up. Clean transition into the air dribble. Tries to go for the flip reset. Doesn't get it. Primal comes out. Can't quite center the ball. And First Killer will try his darndest to keep it in the corner for the time being. Forcing Primal to go for the back pass. Going to bounce off at the ram, but Primal just goes for the demo. And that's something he has done so well. Whenever First Killer applies a lot of pressure onto him, immediately goes for the demo. Yet again tries to go for the dribble. First Killer coming out early this time, so a flick in this case would have actually led him to success. But Primal holding on to his, well, no flick strategy. Bounce off of the crossbar as First Killer can't quite put this one away. Gonna get it off of the wall. Primal will clear that off. First Killer still applying a lot of pressure. Fantastic scoop from First Killer to take the lead right back.
First Killer's playing extremely patient. He's not forcing an issue at all. Primal out of position, completely out of net, completely away from the ball, and First Killer can make those pretty much all day. And I think Primal might be underestimating First Killer just a little bit. It does kind of seem like Primal has First Killer generally figured out, but the execution just isn't quite there. And First Killer is just not rushing anything. He's playing super patient. It's almost like he's in an easy chair and, you know, hanging out, sipping a root beer.
Yeah, if you give First Killer 30 seconds of uninterrupted time on the ball in your own half, then of course he's going to score on you. And that's exactly what happened with Primal there. So no surprise that First Killer is back in the lead, and First Killer is going to try to be flashy with his plays again. Gets a cut to the right a little too far, gets it off the wall, just wants to go for another scoop, it seems. But Primal will prevent it this time. Yet again, flip forward, tries to balance it on his nose. Primal with a great save, but the net is empty for First Killer to score on, and now this is the First Killer we're used to seeing.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, First Killer lost a little bit of control on that. Primal was there, but he had to jump up for it and didn't get the touch that he needed to send it around the corner. Instead, it just pops up off the crossbar in dead center, which, of course, First Killer's just going to put it right in. So a 2-goal lead again here for First Killer. Primal's going to have to step it up here as the 30-second timer goes off.
Yeah, I'm not really seeing a lot of impulse from Primal anymore. That's that kind of lasted until the halftime point in the game, give or take. And from that point onward, well, this is a good life sign. Gets an attack off, but he hasn't done that in about 2 minutes. It's always been First Killer on the ball, and that's why First Killer gets really confident, tries to go with the flashy plays. And ultimately, yeah, Primal is just going to own goal this one. He knows that the game is over, and at least, well, wants to have the feeling of scoring it. Doesn't matter which goal.
And, you know, I mean, 4 seconds is not enough to score 3 goals, honestly.
Well, it wasn't enough to score 2. That's why he made it 3, basically.
Yeah, you know, might as well make it one of those excellent games all around. I mean, I have to admit that I am quite impressed by Primal. He did make it this far, and he played well. Definitely no slouch. I mean, he took it to First Killer there that first game. The second game was pretty close. And then this game was actually a lot closer, I think, than the scoreboard really shows. Primal had some great pressure, but First Killer just kind of turned it on. It seems like he got a little bit more warmed up to the idea of defending his net a little bit better. And I think that the recent experience that First Killer has had lately has really helped him out quite a bit, even in this style of play.
Yeah, I agree. I will stand by the fact that there wasn't really a lot of Primal left by the time the second half of game number 3 rolled around, but you really have to keep in mind that playing against a player of the caliber of First Killer really requires a lot, not only the mechanics, obviously, but also a lot of mental capacity, because on stream it may look easy, cards is kind of moving around, trying to get the ball past each other, looks all easy, but while you're playing at such a high level, you always not only have to calculate your own moves, but you also have to keep in mind what your opponent could be doing right now, what they should be doing right now, and most importantly, what they shouldn't be doing right now. And you kind of have to play around that at all times. And with a player like First Killer, he's been around the block. He's been in so many 1v1 tournaments. He topped off a leaderboard in 2018 as far as Astronauts tournaments go. And what First Killer has above many others that try to step up to him and compete with him is experience. And nothing is more valuable than experience. And 1v1's even more so, because of the very direct approach you have to take against your opponent. So, yeah, it's not surprising that by game 3 of really having to stay on your game for the entirety of the series, you might feel a little burnt out. So, good games, absolutely. I hope we will be seeing him again in the future, because what we saw from Primal was very promising, but in the end it is going to be yet another First Killer final. He was already in the final in the last tournament of January, and he took the entire tournament in the end as well. Who will be facing him? It will be one of Reddles or Sharif, and that'll be up right after the break. Don't go anywhere. And welcome back, everybody, to the Astronauts Rocket League 1v1 tournament powered by Team Beyond and ASTRO Gaming. My name's The Patch. Joining me tonight is Ninja Rider. First semifinal of the day is in the books, and First Killer yet again advances to the grand final. He will be meeting one of a potential two opponents. Either it's going to be Sharif or it's going to be Reynolds. What do you think?
Oh boy. You know, that's a tough one. I mean, Sharif, a former 12 Titan. Reynolds has a ton of experience since then, of course. But Sharif, we haven't seen in the higher echelons of a ones tournament in quite a while, according to what I can find. And of course, here at Beyond. He does play here and there, obviously, just not quite as much as far as the competitive scene goes. He did participate in Project Phoenix, which was in October. So I don't know. Maybe Sharif is feeling it tonight. We'll see. But
Well-
I kind of have to give it to Reddles, honestly.
Well, Sharif was playing in an Astro tournament just in October. It was another 1v1 tournament where he got to the semifinals and ultimately fell to first killer. So, yeah, he's been around the block as far as 1v1 goes as well, but Reddles has multiple wins to his name, and as we hop into DFH Stadium to get these players ready and onto the pitch, I have to agree with you that Reddles is probably the front runner, the favorite to take this particular match. But then again, we never know. There have been upsets. There will be upsets. This is Rocket League. It doesn't end until the ball hits the ground and the clock hits 0. So I'm excited and looking forward to hopefully a very competitive match. Sharif has made it this far, and that is not to be understated. But again, Reddles is an imposing opponent. So players will be heading onto the pitch right away. We will get this match on the road. Sharif versus Reddles to meet First Killer in the grand final. Game number 1 of a potential 5. Here we go. How will this match start off? Reddles with early aggression. Straight out shot on target. Within the 10 first seconds after the whistle. Sharif going to reverse into the ball. Reddles going to wait. Sharif actually rotating back on the midfield line, not applying too much pressure on that ball. Driving up the corner. Looking to center it. Misses the opportunity. Sharif actually did fake him out. But Sharif will take control before Reddles can recover. That's a good demolition to make sure that Sharif cannot get another touch on that ball. And Reddles will once more try off of the wall. Gets it past Sharif on the midfield line, but Sharif will try to go for the wall.
Fake!
Bumps him out of the way. The fake, the bump, the demo, the goal. Reddles takes the lead.
The Honduras team member. This is a beautiful play. Oh, perfectly placed. Just blocks the ball out from being cleared. Simple and elegant. I love it.
Fantastic from Reddles to draw first blood in this game. Drives into Sharif to get the demo, but Sharif will quickly follow up with a kickoff goal.
Beautiful response here by Sharif. Fairly even kickoff, but Sharif was able to recover first. Just pop that one up and in. Reddles, no boost, of course, to respond. And we're tied up.
Certainly are. 2 goals scored in the first minute so far. 7 seconds left until it's in the book. And Sharif, will yet again set something up from the kickoff. What a fast play.
This is a huge fast kickoff there for Sharif. Stayed in it. Didn't even slow down. Didn't even lift off the accelerator. Right into the net. Easy does it there for Sharif.
Let's see whether he'll get another one. He'll be quite happy about a 2-goal lead at this point. Pops the ball over Reddles. He's full on boost. Wrap around the ball and take control of it and look for another offense. Sharif already all the way back in his own half of the field. Reddles and the air dribble off of the midfield line. But Sharif has got that one covered off of the backboard. Good touch from Reddles. Forces Sharif to actually rotate back and get another handle on that ball, which allowed Reddles some time to pick up the side wall boost. Clear attempt from Reddles. Sharif losing that 50-50, forced to scramble back. Completely out of boost. Reddles won't be able to steal that corner boost away before he gets to it. But what Reddles will do is just get a cheeky little pop and put it into the upper right-hand corner.
That's pretty much it right there. I mean, Sharif abandoned the play when the ball bounced off of the corner there. Tries to defend his net. It's just a little bit too far out to really try to predict that. And Reddles, of course, pretty close. Standard shot from Reddles. Another of the stars of Beyond, if you will. Sharif takes a shot. Under pressure. Good Lord.
What a shot from Sharif. Yet another kickoff goal. Bounces off of the side wall. And a banger scored from Sharif to the near post. Beautiful stuff. So once more, Sharif in the lead, and he has been leading this game. Always been Reddles who had to respond, apart from the very first goal, which Reddles drew. But ever since then, Sharif caught up and put up. 2 minutes have been played. 5 goals on the board. Sharif. Quick play forward. Reynolds with the block. Sharif gets it back into the corner. Gonna try to set it up for a midfield play. Opts to not go for that, but Reynolds realizes that immediately. A quick flick from Reynolds before Sharif can react. What a fast and quick play.
Yeah, Sharif, I don't think was expecting this kind of speed on the play when he slowed down after he grabbed that boost to get a bearing on the ball. Reynolds is already flicking that thing up and going in. Cheeky little pump shot there from the midfield. I like it.
And Reynolds certainly didn't waste any time. He saw that the coast was clear and immediately went for it. Now picks off a kickoff goal for himself for a change.
Sharif can shake this off, though. I mean, plays a ton of ones, knows that a ones player will get scored on. They just do. And that's kind of the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. So plenty of time left for him to respond here and possibly take the lead. I think Reynolds has quite the battle on his hands here as the series progresses.
And Sharif will find another goal as the ball bounces off of the corner. Reynolds nowhere to be seen. Great setup yet again. Not sure where Reynolds was going. Decided to go for the boost. Thought that he might have enough time. But all that Sharif had to do was not go for the near post, basically.
I mean, I'm surprised that Reynolds just went for the boost right there. He's usually such a smart player and will just go for a ball touch in those situations just to send the ball away, off of Sharif's target. Well, all right, as he responds in kind right here, though.
Well, and this is a match that's being characterized by 2 things. 1, kickoff goals, of which Sharif has picked up a couple. And 2, I don't want to say mistakes, but suboptimal plays on defense. And that goes for both sides.
Yeah,
yeah, go ahead.
There you go. Okay. I mean, I couldn't really describe it better myself. Suboptimal plays indeed, especially on defense from both sides, where some questionable decisions.
Oh!
That's the first inaccurate shot we've seen from Reynolds this game, if I'm not mistaken. So it really just comes down to the defensive decisions here as Reynolds just barely gets a touch there.
Such a smart play from Reynolds. He knew that he couldn't contest that ball from the goal line because Sharif was on his way down and ready for the bump, so he came at it from the side instead. Quick thinking on the side of Reynolds. And pop that up, get himself a save for that. We'll try to go for the cut here. That's going to have to be a sharp cut, though. Stops the ball instead. Flick up into the air, but Reynolds clears that away. Not enough speed to catch Sharif off guard. At least for the time being. Reynolds trying to snatch that away from Sharif. Takes over ball control and ball trajectory, but then a lackluster clear. Hands the ball back to Sharif. Reynolds will be following that up and actually get it past the midfield line, and Sharif out of boost. So he's forced to go back as well. But Reynolds, he might be taking a long time to recover from that. If Sharif can get the shot, he cannot. He overshoots it. Lengthening the path of the ball, allowing Reynolds to get back in time before the rebound can come out. And that's going to be a long-range shot from Reynolds that will find the net. That's how you counterplay.
Yeah, great response here by Reynolds. It wasn't ideal, but he just saw a way to pop that one up the wall. Sharif turned around, could not respond in time, and now Reynolds finds himself with a 2-goal lead.
Certainly does. With 45 seconds left on the clock, it's going to be tough for Sharif to catch that up. Then again, we've seen a couple of kickoff goals from Sharif. You only need 2 of those. Well, 1, because obviously kickoff is well over in this particular, post-kickoff period. Not a good shot from Reynolds. Sharif could make use of that. Reynolds is completely out of boost. Sharif opts to go for the dribble. Goes for the near post. Takes too long. Reynolds driving into him, burning precious seconds off of the clock. Pretty sure that had Sharif realized that Reynolds was completely out of boost, he would have played that one a lot faster, but unfortunately, there is no ESP in this game.
No, there really isn't. I mean, it's all straight up chess match, and Reynolds is on his game for sure. Ringo lead. Sharif's going to have to concede here game 1.
Yeah. Game 1 is over for Sharif. I think it's quite remarkable that I think 3 of his goals were kickoff goals. Reddle's certainly showing a lot more initiative on the offense. Sharif will get a buzzer beater goal here for style to apply a little bit of cosmetics to the result of game number 1. But at the end, it's still going to be a 2-goal lead for Reddles, even though they're not quite that far apart in total shots. Reddles leading Sharif 10-9, so it's only a 1-shot difference. I still think that Reddles kind of took more initiative on the offense.
I would have to agree with you, honestly. Reddles saw opportunities that Sharif had kind of just left there. Sharif not recovering well. He's not cycling back on defense. He's trying to play very aggressive, and it's just not working for Sharif. Reddles is right where he needs to be generally, and is able to play off of it a little bit easier than Sharif is at this point. Now, Reddles does have kind of his own style, and he just kind of likes to fling balls at the net, and if Sharif isn't ready for it, obviously they're just going to go in.
Well, number 2, we've got a fresh 5 minutes on the clock. Let's see what Sharif can do with that. And Reddles actually sets him up quite nicely with a bit of a misplay on the wall.
Yeah, I think he wanted to roll the ball towards the wall and to his own corner. Instead, he ends up twisting the wrong way and sends that one towards his own side, where Sharif will gladly take it.
Yeah, certainly will. It would be stupid not to. So first goal goes to Sharif in this game. Gonna try to go for a cut here. Barra roll, gets it off of the crossbar. Gonna try to wrap around it, but can't get a handle on the rebound. That was a big opportunity that Sharif didn't make use of, and Reddles gonna try to counter this one. Sharif with the block. Past the midfield line, pops it up into the air. Reddles with a good stop, making sure that he's not on bumping trajectory, and will not quite be able to get the counter on that one. The runaway just being stopped in time from Sharif.
But still, Reddles is applying a lot of pressure. But he's not taking a whole ton of shots. I mean, yeah, he's moving the ball towards the net, but he's kind of slowed down on the shot count here. It's only the first minute, though. He can open it up at any time.
Certainly can. He's applying a lot of pressure right now. Reddles gonna dribble this one back to the midfield line, pick up on some boost, and then launch into an air dribble off of the wall. Gets it past Sharif. Didn't even have to go for the bump, even though he was clearly readying himself for it. Ties the game up.
Just in case.
Yeah.
But yeah, Reddles, I mean, that's kind of a standard shot for Reddles to come off to the sidewall like that and pick a side, any side, and Sharif just wasn't in a proper, prime position to defend that. And so just over a minute left here, Sharif has a chance here off of kickoff, and he'll definitely seize that one.
Yet another kickoff goal for Sharif. These seem to certainly be his specialty, or at least in this series, because he's been converting those like crazy. And again, many people think that kickoffs and 1v1s are just down to luck, but it really isn't. You figure out what your opponent generally tends to do when they go for a kickoff. You try to counteract that. It's as much of a mind game as it is luck. And I think it's more mind game than luck.
Yeah, you got to be able to read your opponent as he approaches the ball in the center of the arena. And it really just comes down to how you respond in kind, or do you try to take control of the kickoff and force the ball into a good position for yourself, as Reddles tries to pop that one towards the net. Sharif, yeah, he'll just take to the other side easy.
Yeah, that's going to be a quick conversion from Sharif. Reddles kind of going all in on that attack, boosts himself into the wall there as well. And Sharif can just run away with it. So it's not all kickoff goals.
No, but again, it really isn't.
I am harping on the fact that Sharif gets a lot of kickoff goals, but again, that's not to take away any take away from any of his accomplishments in the series, because again, I mean, if kickoff goals were really completely down to luck, then we wouldn't see players consistently win their kickoffs.
Correct.
Which is very much a thing in 1v1.
Really, it's a thing in all aspects of Rocket League, but obviously in 1v1 it's so prevalent because mistakes are punished so quickly. Speaking of mistakes, Sharif might be covering this a little bit too close.
Might just be doing that. Reddles not quite sure what to do with that ball. Pops it up with a back flip, goes for the dribble, flick onto the back wall, and Sharif just completely overwhelmed by that situation. didn't know how to position himself, and ultimately ended up just watching the ball sailing over his head.
That was a tough one for Sharif to read. I mean, Reynolds just slow play, and then like he just didn't even go for the ball. Sharif wasn't quite sure what to do in that situation, and so Reynolds will take advantage of the indecisiveness that Sharif had on the play, as Sharif might have control here.
It certainly does. Reynolds probably could have contested that option to give Sharif a little bit of space. He will take away the corner boost here, but give up ball control in return. Reynolds forced to go for the other corner boost, so can't go for the breakaway play in immediately. But gets the pop past Sharif in the midfield line and will tie the game up with this play.
Sharif on the other end of the pitch had actually gone for some sort of touch, and Reynolds had already moved it past. And at this point, Sharif kind of backed off a little bit. He hesitated on that challenge. He could have probably had some sort of chrome on that ball. Just didn't quite get there in time, and now we're tied at 3. This has become, I was going to say a page turner, but we're not reading a book.
Oh! Not really, but Reynolds will take the lead right back. Speaking of pages, took a page out of Sharif's book and sets this one up off of the kickoff.
Yeah, he really did. I mean, Sharif had been doing that a lot last game, just setting it up off the wall and then takes control right into the net. Reynolds doing the exact same thing, bouncing it off the corner this time, getting a touch created.
And Sharif will just do the exact same thing.
And he's been doing that this whole match. Right back at you, buddy. Gotcha.
Yep. You try to beat me at my own game, I'm going to show you my own game. Ties the game right back up. We have just under 2 minutes left on the clock. 4-4 is the scoreline. And Sharif looking to dribble this one in. Cuts it sharply. Allowing Reynolds to come out. Bump is good. And Reynolds will pick up this corner boost as well. And now Sharif, actually very low on boost, will pick up the boost in the other corner. And actually contest this ball all the way to the midfield line. Not rotate back. Reynolds now completely out of boost, and that's a fast cut from Sharif, but Reynolds still gets the rotation, clears that off into the corner. Picks up the boost while he's at it. Good block from Sharif at the midfield line, picks up the boost as well. That's going to give him a little bit of playground here. He's forced to make the back pass after Reynolds gets a fast clear. Going to have to watch out not to hand that one to Reynolds. Gets bumped by Reynolds. And then back passes it into his own half. 1 minute remaining. Sharif takes control. Can't quite recover to get the touch in front of the net as it comes off the back wall. And Reynolds looking for a quick counterplay. Steals away the boost from Sharif, but he's still got plenty to go in his tank. Now he is out, though. And Reynolds takes away the corner boost. Sharif is going to have to run on pads if Reynolds breaks away. And that's why he's slowing down the play right now. Very smart decision from Sharif.
That's exactly why you slow down the play here. Sharif waiting at the midfield just to see what Reynolds will do. He gets the block out. Such patience paying off here so far. But now, if Sharif wants to win this, he's going to have to take control of this ball here right now as time dwindles down.
And conserving a lot of his boost, another fake, but can he get it in? Yes, no, he cannot. It rolls up the ramp. Gonna try to contest it again, but 10 seconds are only left on the clock. Reynolds will not push this. Yes, he will. Trying to go for the buzzer beater. Sharif trying to rotate back. Takes the ball off of him, but there is no more time left. Ball hits the ground. Clock hits 0. We are into overtime in game number 2 of Sharif versus Reynolds.
That's not what Reynolds wanted to do off a kickoff here, though.
And Sharif's going to try to convert this. Good save from Reynolds, but Sharif is still on the offense. Sweeps that one off of the backboard. Sends it past the midfield line. Reynolds forced to go for the back pass, but Sharif gets in there. Lots of pressure onto Reynolds at this moment.
Too fast.
Sends it back. Sharif looking for the cut. Can't get the second one. Completely out of boost and bumped into the stratosphere. And that is all that it's going to take. Sharif biting off more than he could chew. Reynolds getting a fantastic bump with no boost left in his tank. He could not help his recovery in the slightest.
Yeah, and Sharif was trying to stretch that out a little bit. He was moving pretty fast, all things considered. Especially for a play like that, you kind of expect a player to go just a touch slower, trying to take control of the ball, where Sharif was trying to blast that one instead of taking all the control. Reddles kind of patiently waited for it, was predicting a lot of what Sharif was doing and forcing Sharif to be perfect on every shot and every play. And of course, Sharif and really anybody can't exactly do that. And Reddles, the patience does pay off here, and he only needs one more to face off first killer in the finals.
Certainly does. Let's see if he will be able to do that, as Sharif has taken him quite close in both games that we've watched. Question is, can he complete the sweep? I don't think Sharif will be making it easy for him, and he is going to score first blood 7 seconds into the game.
Reynolds had the line here, and he didn't recover well from the flip to get the boost. Just trying to move as fast as possible. Once he tried to turn up the wall, he lost all the momentum. Sharif had recovered in time, sends that one towards the net. Kind of Reynolds did a little bit. Just saw the opportunity and went for it. And now Sharif off a kickoff might have control again.
Oh, drives past the ball. Trying to salvage it, but obviously that was your shot. And play transitions into a midfield kerfluffle.
Yeah, that's my word.
So no opportunity for Sharif to get a quick kickoff setup goal in this time around. And Reynolds will actually leave a lot of space for Sharif, pick up some pads while he is at it. And a shot on target. Oh, almost saved by Sharif. He can scoop it out of the net. Such a close call right there. That ball is already half glowing. Gets a crossbar shot. Reynolds going to try to break away with this one. Can't not get it. And Sharif wrestling control right back. Drives up the corner now. Is on the sidewall. Centers it quite nicely, but Reynolds has the angle. Great save indeed.
Yeah, Reynolds is able to speed that one perfectly. Oh, he flies right past the ball. Sharif will take it. That was... Wow. Okay, so Sharif right here, right off here, just a little bit of a fake there, and Reynolds got a touch on it, but Sharif must have seen him coming as he just stops dead. And that stops the ball right on his nose. Of course, he takes it right into the net from there. It was actually very smart by Sharif and allowed Reynolds to make his play and block everything about it.
It's a 2-goal lead for Sharif now. So he can build on that. Plenty of time for Reynolds to come back, and he will certainly want to complete the sweep. Meet his nemesis first killer in the final. It's not the first time these two players have met, both on the Astronauts pitch and off of it. Reynolds with a dribble, goes for the flick early. Sharif sees that one coming. Tries to repeat that play on the other side. Late flick this time. Save. Reynolds only just barely able to save that one. And this game was characterized, or has been characterized, by their defenses. That's a big demolition onto Sharif, and that'll be a goal.
You mentioned the characterization of the defense. Pretty much all the way through here, Sharif trying to play this one off the wall. Didn't even realize that Reynolds was right behind him at full bore. It's a beautiful demo there by Reynolds. And honestly, the play started on the other side of the pitch, and Reynolds got the ball to that side and just kept the speed up more than anything else, and was able to react well based off of what was going on the play at the time. And a relatively low scoring affair too, as Sharif goes off the backboard. Reynolds can't block that one out, and a little bit of a crossbar down and in.
Yeah, certainly does, and it all comes down to this missed backboard clear from Reynolds. Ball just inches shy of his car. And Sharif will gladly pick up that rebound and put it straight into the net for their 2-goal lead at halftime on the dot. Bounce off of the side wall. Reynolds wants to go for a kickoff goal. Gets it as well, so the goal lead is just back to 1.
Sharif didn't get the recovery he was looking for. Tried to play this one off, it looked like, or maybe... No, he just wanted to defend the net more than anything else. Didn't have a whole ton of boost to work with, and I think maybe if Sharif had just gotten a little bit of a touch on it as it came off the wall instead of trying to play the patient game, if you will, probably would have netted a little bit better results, but it was going to be a tough shot as Sharif, the king of the kickoff.
The floodgates have opened as goals are rolling in left and right. Yet again, you've mentioned it, the king of the kickoff, Sharif, getting himself another kickoff goal, extending the lead back to 2. The question is, will Reynolds respond with a kickoff goal of his own? Let's see. Gets the setup off of the side wall. Sharif will cut off the path, though. Smart play from him. Bounce off of the ramp. Reynolds on his way back. Transitions into a dribble at midfield. Long and early flick. Goal post, will he get the rebound? And Sharif just kind of jumped for that one way too early.
Yeah, he really did. Just trying to keep the speed up more than anything, going for the dunk. I think he thought that Reynolds was going to try to carry that one through. And once Reynolds saw Sharif jump, he just gets that flick up and going. Well done there by Reynolds. I would actually say good patience on that too, because he didn't rush the play when it bounced off of the post as well. Just waited for the bounce out, takes the surefire goal.
So back to just a 1-goal lead. Reynolds will be looking to change that one very, very quickly. Good bump onto him. We'll get the rebound. Goes for the long post. And ties the game right up. Great bump from Reynolds onto Sharif.
That's a fantastic bump right there. But Reynolds able to play this one just nicely. Again, patience paying off here for Reynolds. Even as time winds down, he's not forcing really any issues at all. He's kind of letting Sharif make his own mistakes. Although he's got to figure out how to take these kickoffs to try to beat Sharif, because honestly, that's been Sharif's game this whole time.
Yeah, it certainly has. It's always his trump card. He always has that up in his sleeve. Kickoff goal to take the lead. And really, that only has to happen once in, say, the final 5 seconds of a game. And Sharif will be, well, not quite through yet, because he's going to have to reverse sweep if he wants to meet First Killer in the final. But at least he'll stay in the tournament.
Uh-oh.
An angle shot attempted from Reynolds, saved by Sharif. Will send that past the midfield line. Reynolds rotating home, can save that shot. Sharif just goes for the far angle and extends the lead to 2.
And Reynolds tried to cut off the shooting angle here. I mean, the idea is good. It's just that he gave Sharif a little bit too much room. Went for that boost pad. Couldn't quite cut off what he was looking for. I mean, it was a good idea. And again, it's not something that we really see Reynolds do very often, especially when kickoffs. Oh, he needed to not miss that, though.
Certainly didn't. Sharif will take control of this ball. Reynolds scrambling back with an empty boost tank. And Sharif looking to dunk that one past him. Can't quite make it happen. Bounces off of the ramp, and Reynolds playing it slowly, even though he does not have a lot of time left. Good save from Sharif, but he just pops that up. Will he clear it off of the backboard? Yes, he will. Good recovery. Forcing Reynolds back to his own half yet again. Picks up the corner boost. All he has to do is go for a flick, but that's not the flick they was looking for. Very slow, and Sharif will be able to take control of it. 30-second warning on the clock, and Sharif is on his way to scoring yet another goal. There's still 2 goals to catch up to for Reynolds, and even if he does so, 1 kickoff goal from Sharif can just change everything. Doesn't even need one. Gets the ball off the back wall and puts it away for a 3-goal lead with 17 seconds left to play.
Beautiful touch there from Sharif coming off of the wall. Able to flip up towards that ball and slam that one towards the net, forcing Reynolds to come off the wall as well, try to clear that one away. As Reynolds is the one that needed to try to catch up, but now a 3-goal deficit for Reynolds. I'm calling a loss on this one, and Reynolds will have to regroup for the next one.
Yep, absolutely. It is not going to be a sweep. Instead, Sharif will take his first game of the series, lengthening it for the time being. Lengthening. There it is. And making sure that he already has 1 foot in the door for a potential reverse sweep.
Kind of wondering if this is the reason why Sharif's last series went so long. I mean, it did go all 5 games. And Sharif clearly likes to try to read his opponents and exploit their weaknesses as much as he can. And right now, that's kickoffs. And so it basically lies in the hands of Reynolds. Reynolds will need to clean up those kickoffs and do the best he can to shut down Sharif anytime that he takes control.
Game 4 is underway. We've got another fresh 5 minutes on the clock. Let's see where they will take us. And Reynolds is going to kick this one off, giving Sharif a taste of his own medicine.
And it's definitely a piping hot, fresh 5 minutes as Reynolds right here. Pretty simple plan of attack there. He recovered well, got the ball towards the net, and of course Sharif could not recover in time because kickoff.
Because kickoff.
Because kickoff.
That has been the story of this series. Reynolds being smart there. Sharif won the kickoff, but Reynolds just bumped him out of the way. Goes for the long shot. It seems like Reynolds has finally figured out how to stop the Sharif kickoff.
Sure does seem that way. Reynolds didn't have any boost on the play either. Sharif went for that corner boost instead of defending his net or even challenging the ball at that point. A little bit of a mistake there on Sharif's part, in my opinion, but now off a kickoff.
And it'll go in. There's no way you can prevent that one from happening. Like, this is where it was over. That touch right there.
Yeah, right there. Exactly. Right off a kickoff. Reynolds didn't get any movement on the ball, and it was all Sharif all the time.
Certainly was. But he's still behind by 1, and Reynolds will be happy with that. Sharif to cut off the angle on that potential kickoff follow-up. And quick turnaround as well. With no boost in the tank, he is actually extending quite far out. And Reynolds making him wait. Seems to have realized that Sharif is running on boosts on pads right now.
Oh,
Sharif takes control back, tries to go for the double tap, gets it on the goalpost, but Reynolds no boost for the breakaway. Sharif trying to wrap around it, and Reynolds gets it past him, but has to go for boost. There's no chance for him to do anything with this ball without at least a little bit of boost in his tank. Unfortunately for him, it takes a little bit too long, and Sharif wrestles control right back. First minute has passed. Reynolds in a 1-goal lead, but it doesn't seem very comfortable. At least not yet.
Well, you know, I think you kind of hit that one on the head as well. I mean, yet. Reynolds can, at any point, break away. Just like that, Sharif's going to have to recover quickly as Reynolds dodges the hit. Oh my god, that was beautiful dodge there by Reynolds, but it may not have been enough.
Oh, not a good shot from Sharif. Didn't quite get the flip into the ball just right. Was not a boost, but still could have made that shot a little faster. And Reynolds wouldn't have been able to get back to it in time. As it stands, it's still a 1-goal lead. Almost past the 2nd minute of playtime. No goals scored in that 2nd minute. Sharif's going to try to play it slow. Going to try to bait Reynolds out, but Reynolds, he won't be tricked that easily. Goes for the long angle, but Sharif picks up the sidewall boost, forcing Reynolds to rotate back and pick up his own corner canister. Now Sharif just waiting for the right opportunity to cut it. But Reynolds rolls into the ball and saves that one off to the corner as well. Sharif going to get another touch here off of the backboard, not in a position for a follow-up. Going to have to back pass that one. And Reynolds burning a lot of boost on defense here right now. Hasn't broken out of his own half in a while.
You're right, he hasn't. And yes, he is burning up a lot of boost, but most of that is canisters from his side. Reynolds actually playing very patient. He's playing quick, but he's not allowing Sharif to really get set up for a decent shot. And now's the first time in about a minute and a half or so that we saw some play on the blue side of Sharif. Shot, and Reynolds able to knock that out.
Fantastic save from Reynolds, and he's going to try to turn that around into a counter, but Sharif stops that one dead in its tracks in the midfield line. Tries to find the angle on that one, and manages to thread the needle. There we go. Game's tied at 2 minutes and 4.
Yeah, Sharif from a little bit of an extreme angle. I don't think Reynolds expected Sharif to take the shot, but the way that Sharif wrapped around underneath the ball and was able to flip up towards the crossbar, it forced Reynolds into a very uncomfortable position, and that's why Reynolds couldn't even block that one out. And now Reynolds' patience might bite him a little bit as they're tied at 2.
Certainly are. Might just be 3. Sharif popping up to that one. Gets it off the backboard. Not in a good spot to follow that one up. And Reynolds looking for the counter. I saw him looking for that bump onto Sharif, but Sharif wisely jumped. Reynolds didn't even end up making his way towards him. Good block from Sharif. Can he follow that up? Doesn't look like it. Had to recover. because it was a pretty high altitude bump. But Sharif is putting up so much pressure onto Reddles right now. If Reddles lets this continue, it's bound to end up in results. What a demolition from Reddles, though. Fantastic play. Air dribble into demo.
There.
Great stuff.
Perfect. Well executed by Reddles. Didn't go for any... I was going to say real air, or maybe even like a double touch or anything like that. He just a nice drag, forcing Sharif to second guess, and what a challenge at the midfield.
Sharif actually gets the demolition onto Reddles, but it was too late. The shot had already come out. And Reddles will get himself yet another goal on the board. Now things are looking tough, at the very least, for Sharif. There's still plenty of time left.
Oh, man.
Reddles on his way to another kickoff goal here, but Sharif clears that one off quite nicely into the corner.
Oh,
what a play from Reddles. What a touch. What a goal. 3 goals in less than 30 seconds, and Reddles has got this game on lockdown.
Yeah, Reddles is definitely heating up on this one, just firing on all cylinders. The whole afterburner is burning out. Yeah, I have a feeling that Sharif might be done, but still plenty of time left here for something to happen as Sharif responds quickly.
Great stuff. Yet again off of the kickoff. Did a good job at keeping control of the ball under relentless pressure from Reddles. Might think that Reddles should have just gone for the bump as early as he could get it. In the end, he'll allow Sharif to wrap around the ball, put it into a good position for a shot.
And I don't think Reddles really had... Oops, sorry.
Oh, 55 seconds for just 2 goals. That's all I wanted to say. Might see the second one here. No, not just yet.
And I think Reddles might not have been aggressive enough on that last play before the goal happened. It's just a matter of, attacking the ball properly. I mean, he had the right idea again. It's just a slight error in Sharif punishing nicely. Sharif has been doing that, but it's just that Reddles has been so accurate, I guess you could say, with all of his touches, like that right there, forcing Sharif off the ball, but now Sharif has control.
Well, 20 seconds left. Goes for the flick. Reddles got that one covered. The rebound. Sharif put himself in position to capitalize off of that one, but another great save from Reddles, and he will be able to put that one away. It was a 2-goal lead that won Sharif game number 3. It will be a 3-goal lead that wins Reddles the entire series.
And at this point, Reddles hammers in the last nail. Got to call this one at this point. I don't think Sharif can respond that quickly.
Oh, I mean, he is a connoisseur of quick kickoff goals, but even he won't be able to score 3 in less than 7 seconds. And that's going to be the final scoreline, 3-6. Sharif did his absolute best. Took a game off of Reddles. He came into this match as the underdog. But ultimately, Reddles with a quick flurry of goals, and it was very close up until that point. But in the end, 3-goal lead for Reddles wins him the series and gets him into the final, where we will see, well, might as well just call it El Clasico at this point. First Killer versus Reddles.
El Clasico, I like it. I've been spending some time in Spain.
I did actually vacation in Spain last summer. It's a beautiful country.
Well, there you go. Yeah, but I mean, Reddles, honestly, I think he had his work cut out for him on that one. That was pretty good. Sharif put in quite the performance. Obviously, a lot of kickoff goals, and Sharif's probably been working on that a little bit. And just kind of a handy all-around skill to have, no matter what mode you're playing in. Pick any of the extra modes, any of the ranked modes, and a good kickoff is always handy. But Reddles able to kind of take that and start to formulate a plan. He started watching Sharif and how he approached the ball and forced Sharif to try something a little bit different. And it kind of put Sharif into a little bit more of an uncomfortable zone when it came to his play. And Reddles was able to take advantage of that whenever he could. And I like the patience we're seeing from Reddles. It wasn't a full-blown, oh my God, Western shootout. Definitely wasn't a scene out of Tombstone. There was some chess happening in Reddles' head. And that was good to see because he's going to need it going up against First Killer.
Oh, yeah, he certainly is. And we will see that match come up right after the break. It's going to be First Killer versus Reynolds. Winner take all. $500 are up for grabs. Who will take it? Will First Killer get his second consecutive win in 1v1 tournaments? Or will Reynolds trade a blow with him? Find out when we're back.
We're cranking up the temperature. Brace yourselves. It's going to be a bumpy ride.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Astronauts Rocket League 1v1 tournament powered by Team Beyond and ASTRO Gaming. My name's The Pash. Joining me is Ninja Rider.
Hi.
Two semifinals have passed. Two winners have emerged. The only thing that's left to do is throw them against each other to see who will emerge as the final victor of the night. We'll be taking home the nice and sweet prize pool of $500.
Yep, 500 bones about to line the pockets of one of these two players. And you termed this particular matchup El Clasico. I have to run with it. That's perfect because we've seen this match time and time again, whether it be in a semifinal or a final. These two guys going up against each other is, I mean, it's astronauts gold at this point.
Yeah. It certainly is. It's the Astronauts Classic. And I think First Killer has the edge as far as direct head-to-head competition goes. And First Killer is also the reigning champion, so that's two reasons right there for Reynolds to take the crown off of him. We'll be heading on to Champions Fields for this final match. It is best of 7, so a lot more opportunities to, well, both mess up and take a little bit of a safety dive. But it also means that you have to have a lot more attrition, a lot more confidence, a lot more mental capacity to stay at the top of your game from start to finish. And I think that this could be quite the competitive match. I would not be surprised to see it go all the way to Game 7.
And based off of what we saw in these last two semifinals, it seems like First Killer has been focused a lot on threes and less on his ones procedures, if you will, whereas Reddles has actually been going for it a little bit more, and the player's already on the pitch. Well, let's get into it then.
Yep, let's get into it indeed. And Reddles will not waste any time. 4 seconds in, and they already have a goal on the board.
Well, you know, take a page out of Sharif. You know, manual, why not, right?
I mean, yeah, he just learned from the best. But First Killer is just going to say, "All right, well, I'm just going to copy what you've copied."
I mean, why not? Since we're all at the same test, let's yeah, it's not the SAT. Why not?
So 1-1, and we're at just 8 seconds in. Looking like an explosive series already. See where this is going to go. First Killer looking for a second kickoff goal. Gets the rebound off of the backboard. Threads the needle past Reddles, and we'll get number 2 on the board.
Yeah, pretty quick, too. I mean, First Killer changing up a little bit, going for the backboard clear, and Reddles trying to recover. I think Reddles had the idea that this was going to be another kickoff goal, but he thought it was going to be a little bit faster, so he didn't pop up for that at all. And there you go. Pretty simple, straightforward kickoff goal here. And now Reddles with a chance. Oh, that's a rare miss.
Yeah, certainly was. I thought Reddles would make this Texas-style shootout perfect. But he misses his opportunity of tying the game right back up again. Goes to the back pass now. First Killer with a lot of pressure on that. Gets the bounce off of his roof. In the corner now, and is going to let Reddles come at him, and that's something that we've seen time and time again between these two players. First Killer granting a lot of space to Reddles. Reddles going for it, and First Killer pulling a fast one on him. Reddles seems to have learned because he's not quite as ready and willing to go for open space that First Killer hands to him.
And it seems like Reddles, again, the patience is working out for him well. We saw him play pretty patient against Sharif. And usually we see Reddles start to kind of just go for it against First Killer, and we're not seeing that. We're seeing a lot of patience. That's perfectly executed defense right there, and now he has a bit of a breakaway.
Certainly does. First Killer trying to save that one. Can't quite make it happen. Sets up the rebound off of the back wall for Reddles, and he puts it away at 3-41.
Yeah, First Killer had to get a touch on this. He was definitely aiming for the corner. Tried to defend against that, but Reddles puts it nice and high and above his head. Right in. We're tied at 2.
Deuce is wild on the field. We haven't even played 2 minutes yet. Players of this caliber, everything can happen at any time. Reddles goes into the air dribble, demolition onto First Killer midair, and gets goal number 3 on the board.
Wait for it. Wait for it. Yeah, I'm going to be a savage now. And Reddles totally planned it, too. The way that he approached the ball after it popped up, he actually just was ready to slide underneath it, fully expecting First Killer to go for it. And now he has a chance for another kickoff goal, and First Killer will deny.
Certainly will, but Reddles goes for another shot, gets it off of the backboard. First Killer will clear that, but forced to go for his corner boost. He was all out. Pushing forward now, Reddles with just the right move. Pops it up into the air, but just barely misses the net. Comes off of the crossbar, and First Killer going to try to capitalize on that. Contests the ball against Reddles. He's going to have to rotate back. Gets the flick off, and Reddles saves that off into the corner. First Killer trying to go for the bump, but forced to go back now. Picks up the side boost. Good flick from Reddles. That's going to be on target. Fast one. Will find the net for a 2-goal lead.
That was a speedy flick indeed here. First Killer, realizing he was in a little bit of trouble, just turns on the boost. He just could not get ahead of the play at all. Found himself a touch behind on the defense. And again, right idea. Didn't quite get the execution right. I don't think he was expecting Reddles to speed away on that one. And now a kickoff goal to respond.
Yeah, it takes a Kickoff goal for First Killer. Very important for him not to lose the train, basically. Make sure he is always at least within one, or at most within one, of Reddles. Gonna be highly important. Reddles will go for a kickoff goal of his own. First Killer just saved that, popping that one up off of the crossbar. Reddles went for boost, can't quite rotate back in time. First Killer still running on the boost that he had on kickoff and the pads that he picks up on his path. Finally picks up the corner boost. What will he do with it? Gets it past Reddles in the midfield. The rebound won't even have to get picked up. The ball just rolls down the ramp and into the net to tie things up.
We got to shoot out people.
Certainly do. It's high noon on Champions Field.
High
Just
midnight.
past halftime. Reddles with a good kickoff win. Can't quite get the cut that he was looking for. Gets it past the midfield line. Left it off the orange back wall. Reddles looking to clear that back into midfield. First Killer wins this confrontation and comes back. Reddles nowhere to be seen. And First Killer can just leisurely drive this one in.
Yeah, Reddles just kind of... Oh, sorry about that.
That's fine. Go ahead.
Reddles just kind of blasting past that, honestly. Just didn't judge the touch properly at that point. And First Killer did get quite a touch on that to send it high. And it was enough. I mean, First Killer, again, a little bit of patience on the goal line there. Sends it right in, and he takes the lead.
It's only one goal lead, though. We've seen that Reddles can come back quite quickly if he wishes so. So let's see if he's going to wish so, and he certainly will. What a play in the midfield made First Killer look like a fool.
First Killer right here just advancing, trying to predict when Reddles would go for it. And he did backflip, so I wonder if just a regular double jump would have done a lot better on the defense of that play. We'll never know unless it happens again.
Crazy stuff. We're tied. The shootout continues. Ooh. Good save from Reddles. Gonna try to follow that one up. First Killer low on boost. Gonna have to flip and pick up pads. But Reddles overshooting that one. Sends it straight back to the other corner where First Killer will pick it up with a lot of momentum. Gonna try to set up for the bump here. Runs out of boost mid-play. Reddles pop up into the air. Gonna try to get that in. First Killer with a good save. And the angular momentum of the ball sends it out after it hits the ground. Crazy stuff. Good play from Reddles. Gets the ball past First Killer. All he has to do now is drive it home. Takes the lead past the 1 minute line.
And again, a simple play is the one that does it. Reddles didn't go for anything fancy. He didn't go for a wall pinch. Didn't try to be the cooksier hero. Nothing. First Killer fully expecting something fancy to happen right there. Flips right past the ball and Reddles to drive in.
And Reddles with a very slim lead with just under a minute to play. Gonna look to turn that into 2. Good save from First Killer. Has conserved some boost. Gonna have to burn a lot of it to get up to speed in time. And just like that, he is out. Gets bumped away by Reddles. Physical play continues.
Ooh.
Oh, not sure if that was what First Killer intended. Certainly not. As it sets up the ball for Reddles in front of the net. 32 seconds left.
Bit of a panic touch there by First Killer. I mean, he needed to touch it for sure, but he had to reach for it and just got it on the tips. And Reddles, again, that patience is really paying off. I mean, we're seeing a lot of improvement here by Reddles.
We really are. He's leading First Killer by 2. With 20 seconds left, First Killer play it slow, waiting until the very last moment, tries to go for the short corner, misses it, gets the rebound, and does it on the other half. 17 seconds left.
But it was enough here to stop Reddles from reacting in time, and it looked like Reddles was actually backwards on the play as well. So Reddles was fully expecting that to go in, and then when it didn't, she's just completely surprised, and now...
Oh boy! No, not
no.
quite a kickoff goal. But 10 seconds left on the clock. First Killer's going to have to make a move, forced to dive backwards for that ball. He is very low on boost for that play, and Reynolds took away the only canister left on the field. That's the save that Reynolds needed to make. Now he only has to make the ball touch the ground, and this demo will do it. Reynolds wins game number 1. And I think this is the first time we've seen First Killer lose a game in quite a while, actually.
I think so. Yeah, there were
he didn't drop a single game in the last weeks, in the 1v1 2 weeks ago. He didn't drop a single game in the last 1v1 of 2018, which he also won. So this is First Killer's first game loss in months.
I had to look that up. Yeah, you are correct. Now that I'm thinking about it and double checking all my work, yeah, you're right. And El Clasico is off to a hot start, I'd say, based off of that game. And Reddles, the patience is working very well for him. And we usually see him kind of start to go crazy with trying to make this crazy play or a crazy defense, and he's just not doing that. He's staying very grounded and is only taken to the air when he needs to, and it's working perfectly for him. We've seen some mechanics come out here on both sides, and I have a feeling that both players are now going to crank it to 12.
I'll certainly hope so. Game number 2 of a potential 7 is among us. We have 5 minutes on the clock and 2 very eager players on the pitch. And what a play from First Killer, bumping Reynolds out of the way.
Pretty standard affair there for First Killer. Wrap it up and around and follow the ball through. And the difference this time was that Reynolds was sort of in the way. It's just that First Killer stayed with it, kept on the boost, and got it in there. And Reynolds falling first, but now possible kickoff goal here.
Ooh. Might still be it. Gets the demo onto First Killer. He respawns on just the wrong side of the field, allowing Reynolds to just sail it in over his head.
And Reynolds, patience again, takes the boost, flips it back around, avoids First Killer on the spawn. That's actually a high-level move there, knowing exactly where the spawn point is on the pitch, and he's able to wrap around it just in case you spawn on top of him or something weird happened like that. Is able to respond in kind. I would also like to mention in this series so far, and I think that this will be a recurring theme, that we haven't seen a more than 2-goal lead this whole time.
That's true. That is very true, but it is only game number 2 for the time being.
Wow.
And everything can happen. I think it was a Goomba Stomp. Didn't really throw First Killer off course, though, so was more of eye candy than anything.
Eye candy. They're just saying hi. High five.
Demolition onto Reynolds. First Killer is on his way to his own half, and Reynolds will be respawning in time. Shadows the ball for quite a long time, allowing First Killer to just build up a lot of momentum and stuff the ball past him.
Yeah, exactly. First Killer is a great move. He puts himself wheels first towards the ball, just in case Reynolds makes a challenge, and sure enough, Reynolds makes the challenge. He has to at that point, and with First Killer being in such close proximity, it just follows right in.
So 1-goal lead for First Killer at this point in a Texas-style shootout. It should be Reynolds' turn to score. Can he keep the rules steady?
Rules.
I would certainly hope to see that. Ain't there nothing but a game full of leaders and equalizers? But First Killer says, no, I don't want to do the shootout thing anymore. I'm just going to score goal number 3.
Yeah, First Killer here. Yeah, I don't need no stinking rules. Although still only a 2-goal lead. Reynolds could still keep that trend alive. We'll have to see. Of course, now that I've mentioned it, you know, it's going to get broken, of course.
It certainly is. Bounce off the corner, empty net. There it is. 3-goal lead. First Killer scores at 3 minutes and 12.
Oh, yeah, everybody in the chat, you might as well blame me. I broke it. Yeah, broke the rules right there. My bad. Sorry. Yeah.
You're fine, my friend. You are fine.
Yeah.
You are not the first. You can put yourself into the Hall of Fame that is filled with many faces, including your own several times, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, I think you're already in that Hall of Fame many times over.
It's the
In
only
fact,
one.
everyone who has ever casted any game of Rocket League is. So don't worry about it. Good save from Reddles, but First Killer sitting on the ball quickly wraps around it, trying to rotate. Reddles taking his sweet time, coming down from the corner there. First Killer just getting ready for the bump. You can see him, but waited a little bit too long. Reddles just kind of running away with the ball, saying, "Okay, well, if you're just gonna give me all the space, then I'm just gonna take it."
And First Killer just got a little too fancy on that. Try to get a bump going from behind. That's a tough thing to do anyways. It's a pretty simple play there for Reddles. He just stayed with it instead of panicking out of it.
So I guess your rule is back intact. We are back to a 2-goal lead. Let's see if First Killer wants to change that right back. On top of the sidewall, First Killer to send that down the field. Good long-range shot from Reddles. Will that find the net? No, it will not. Rolls up the ramp instead, allowing for a long clear to come out from First Killer. Gonna pick up a few pads on his way, pop the ball up, trying to go for the bump onto First Killer, just slightly undershooting there. But it was a good attempt, and that's a play that we've seen Reddles do quite a few times, actually. Try to carry the ball in and bump the goalie out of the way in the movement during your play. It's been a staple. It's been a staple of his play many times.
We've seen him do it in this series already, and First Killer gets a great response. Reddles can't get there in time.
And that was such a great contest on the wall there, and quick recovery too. Followed by an incredibly sharp angle shot.
Going for that far post.
Three quick, great plays in succession from First Killer takes the lead back to 3.
And I think this might be one that Reddles might have to concede. It is the best of 7, so he's got a little bit of room and just maybe make a couple of adjustments here and there. And, you know, the patient play maybe not be working out for him at this point. Maybe it's time to speed it up just a touch, start challenging a little bit quicker, force First Killer into a little bit more of a precarious situation as plays begin to work their way through. Reddles to shoot this one
shot
on its way out. Great shot indeed. Can we call it a comeback yet? Yeah, maybe not yet.
Well, we've got 1:01 on the clock and 2 goals to catch up to for Reddles. He can do it. It's going to be tough. Something that First Killer really loves doing is when he has a 2-goal lead, at least, and he loves slowing the play down. And if Reddles gives even an inch to First Killer and says, "Well, I'm going to let you come at me," and then First Killer is going to say, "Okay, but I'm never actually going to come at you. I'm just going to keep staying in my half, playing around the ball," and that's exactly what he's doing right now. He is forcing Reddles to come at him. He's not pushing forward because he's running down the clock. And then when Reddles does make the move, he pushes forward. Reddles does get himself a save now. Ooh, and a demolition. Can he convert that one straight off of the wall, though? That's the question. Completely out of boost. Ball's not in a good spot. Didn't have a good angle on it. Tries to go for the demo, and he gets it.
Wait a minute.
And now there's 8 seconds left on the clock.
Is it possible that Reddles could Sharif First Killer at this point?
He's going to have to.
Definitely going to have to. 8 seconds left. It's not a whole lot of time, let's face it. But First Killer is just going to be very guarded here on this kickoff.
That's not a good
wait
start. He's going to have to juggle that ball. He pops it up. First Killer, all he has to do is get one solid block. He gets it. Reddles looking for the shot. He puts it away.
There it is.
There we go. Buzzer beater to take it into overtime. Reddles is not done yet.
I told you, don't second guess Reddles off of a kickoff. Again, the patience does pay off. Reddles is starting to figure out when to be patient, when to attack. Right there was the perfect blend of both, and we're in overtime here in Game 2.
We certainly are, and Reddles has his chance now to take the second game in a row. He's in a good spot. Pops the ball up. First killer intercepting that one. The midfield line right now, it goes for an air dribble. Reynolds is going to have to do a good job at saving that. He does make sure that the stuff that first killer set himself up for does not go through. Waiting for the cut until the very last moment. Going to try follow it up with a flick. Hits the crossbar. The underside of it too.
Oh,
there's
good
the
demo.
demolition onto first killer, but he's out of boost. And the ball is on its way out of the half.
Yeah, but it was
Still,
enough to just
good
buy him a
advantage,
little bit of
good
time.
positioning advantage. Goes for the air dribble. Good save from first killer. Sends that into the corner. Trying to go for a blitz counterplay. But Reynolds slows the game down. Wise decision at this point.
Yeah, Reynolds trying to control the pace of game here. First killer not, well, doing his best to try to counter it as much as he can, but we're not seeing any of the aggression that we saw from before. Only on Reynolds' side of things, if you will. First killer could probably do with a bump or a demo on the play here.
Oh,
or that.
Speaking of. Oh, didn't have the boost to quickly wrap around. Now it's going to have to watch out. First killer might be going for the breakaway here. That is going to be on target, just shy of crossing the line. Reynolds gets the save. Now Reynolds with a quick counter place, forcing first killer back into his own half. Going to actually go back here and allow first killer a lot of space. Gets the clear off into the corner. Forcing first killer past the midfield line. But first killer has been in ball control for quite a while now. Reynolds with a pop-up. First killer just trying to go for the bomb. That's going to cross the line, and Reynolds will win game number 2. I think that was an own pool shot goal. I'm not quite sure. Yeah, it was an own goal.
Just a slight mistake there by first killer. Don't see that too often. Now Reynolds has a 2-goal lead. Or a 2-game lead, I'm sorry. I didn't expect this. I honestly thought that this was going to go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And possibly back.
And fourth?
And fourth one more time. Yes, that's right.
Yeah. I
Quick
thought
math.
you were missing something there.
I'm missing way more than that. But yes, the big thing here, I think, to realize, though, is Reynolds, and we keep talking about his patience, but in that overtime, he didn't force anything. The moment he realized that he was not going to win a challenge, didn't even go for it. Just backed off, grabbed some boost on the way back, tried to make sure to shut down any shooting lane that first killer had. And it forced first killer to try to get creative with some shots, and first killer's not really connecting as well as he usually does tonight, so it's kind of paying off at this moment.
Certainly, as we're in game number 3. Reynolds has a chance at turning this one into a match point game very early on.
Oh,
He wins this one. And first killer will be forced to reverse sweep. Reynolds looking for a shot, playing it slowly, gets his flip back, but first killer does get the save in time. And Reynolds, as first killer tries to go for boost, just launches a quick counter attack, manages to stuff the ball through to a tiny gap.
this is actually beautiful by Reynolds. He kind of faked going back and then just flips right into the ball, puts a ton of speed on it. First killer caught by surprise, tried to defend it away, and just couldn't quite get there in time. Reynolds is catching first killer in very awkward positions, and it's not something we usually see out of first killer, so a little bit of a new experience for first killer. And honestly, this is the best chance that Reynolds has had at winning one of these 1v1s in quite a long time, especially against first killer.
Oh yeah, but first killer is not going to make it easy for him.
I mean, would you if you were first killer? Of course not. Honestly, let's face it. let's at least give it a run for Reynolds' money, and anybody that had a bet on Reynolds, just try to make him nervous. Oh,
Kickoff goal. No, not quite. Just shy, but first killer going to try to turn that one around. Will he get the second touch? Reynolds stopping shy on the goal line. Gets the rebound, sends the shot outfield. And first killer concedes, turns around on the midfield line to signal, no, I'm not getting there in time.
And I'm surprised that first killer didn't even try to go up or force Reynolds into an awkward save or really anything. He just kind of shot it. Very odd. I wasn't expecting that at all out of first killer. But it's only a 1-goal lead fairly early in the game. Maybe first killer just wanted a bit of a reset here. We'll have to see if it pays off for him. Oh, big miss, though.
Oh, good play from Reynolds. Both players completely out of boots, though. First killer has picked some up now, and Reynolds has got to be careful because first killer can now wrap around and flick the ball very quickly. He did so, didn't quite hit the target. Reynolds looking for the long-range shot. Good save from first killer, but the rebound is going to be in a good spot for Reynolds. He's going to try to contest that one. First killer now low on boost. Picks up a lot of pads on his way to the corner. It's about halfway full now. Reynolds. Oh! Close call, gets the save. Follow-up shot from first killer, hits the crossbar, lands straight down onto Reynolds. And first killer going to shadow this ball. Flick coming in from Reynolds. Save from first killer into the corner. As we are nearing halftime. Oh, looking for the long angle. Can't quite find it. Bounce off of the crossbar. Unfortunate there for Reynolds. But he remains in the lead. Halftime on the dot. And a shot opportunity. Trying to go for the double tap. Can't quite put it away. Wide on the second shot. Backflip attempt from Reynolds to keep the ball in place. Try to get some kind of reaction out of first killer.
First killer's just not taking the bait, is he? Like, pretty much that whole exchange. First killer was defending his net, and that's it. Waiting for that opportune time to get that long clear, which he had right there, but then he didn't attack for any sort of way through and had to go for that flying save. Now he has a chance.
Certainly does. Going to play it slowly. He's not going to rush down. Wants to try and find a weakness in Reynolds' play. Trying to keep control, but he's out of boost, and Reynolds just took away the corner boost from him. And sometimes offense is the best defense. Pushes the ball downfield, buys him a lot of space in the midfield to pick up that side boost and get himself open to some more options. Nicely dodging the demo attempt from Reynolds. Draft the ball all the way onto the orange half of the field. Reynolds winning that one, and first killer very low on boost, but the angle has just closed for Reynolds. And first killer had the time to rotate back, and Reynolds just playing it slowly now, just playing the mind games yet again, but first killer, he's too savvy. He won't be tricked that easily. Reynolds forced to make the back pass. Lands on first killer.
60 seconds left on the clock.
Starting to see the boost control kind of shift hands here. First killer's been stealing boost as Reynolds makes his way down pitch. And it's working out fairly well. It's completely slowed down the play as far as scoring goes. And we're just seeing a lot of long clears at this point. Not seeing a whole ton of ball control. It really is going to come down to first killer to respond quickly as time runs out.
There really is not a lot of time left. First killer bumps into the goalpost. Instead of scoring that one, that is extremely uncharacteristic. He had an open shot there. He couldn't put it away, and now the 30-second warning is on the clock. Reynolds trying to stop first killer at the halfway line. Going for the bump. Lets the ball clear. And gonna go for the cut. First killer not gonna let this one go, and here's his final chance, but he is out of boost. Reynolds already on his way back. He's gonna try to have to go for a dribble here, but Reynolds contests the ball in the midfield line. Hits the ground. Reynolds wins game number 3. He is now on match point.
Everyone, welcome to Beyond. You never know what's going to happen. And first killer, I have to admit, is a little bit off of his game, it seems like. Usually he's the one taking control of the pitch, taking control of the ball. He tried to kind of counteract what Reynolds was trying to do. Reynolds was trying to play as fast as possible, but he's using a ton of boost. This time, first killer realized that fairly early, about a minute in, and started to take as much boost as he could. But that took him away from the ball a little bit, and that ball control really started to suffer towards the end there. When Reynolds realized what was going on, Reynolds let him and just kept the ball away from his net as much as he could, and it worked out well. That's an extremely low scoring game for anyone's match, let alone a Beyond finals, let's face it.
Yeah. I don't think anyone would have expected that. We might just be going back to the roots here. Reddles is the first one to have ever won a 1v1 Beyond Astronauts tournament. He's going to score first blood in game number 4 as well, putting himself into a good spot already.
This right here, perfectly executed. Completely predicted when First Killer was going to jump and just clobbers him. Straight check into the crease.
Could we really be seeing the OG champion sweep the 5-time World Heavyweight 1v1 Rocket League champion? We have a 2-0 on the board.
World or NA? To me, you do realize what this means, right? You've now started something. We're gonna have to figure out an EU 1v1 champion, an Australian 1v1 championship. Beyond, you got your work cut out for you.
Yeah, get to it. Get to it is all I'm saying. 2-goal lead for Reddles.
I'm sensing a LAN idea. Can I get some Pog champs in the chat?
Yeah, I don't think there's been any 1v1 lands. I mean, you could say 12
God,
Titan, sort of, kind of, but
yeah, but can you imagine?
I would love that, quite honestly.
Talk about harkening back to the SARP days. Anyways.
Yeah, back to the game. It's still a 2-goal lead for Reddles, and he is about to sweep the champion if the scoreline stays this way. And it's not only a champion, I've said it. It's a 5-time champion, record champion in Astronauts 1v1 tournaments. And Reddles won the first 2 ever Astronauts 1v1 tournaments. And First Killer came in and won 2 of his own. Fantastic flick from First Killer. He is not done yet.
There's a name for this.
Oh
no, he just flipped up underneath. I thought that.
Oh no,
that's something else. But that was very good.
I think I know what you referred to, and I thought it was one, but yeah, kind of.
I think we've only seen a musty flip in competition maybe once or twice. You don't see it too often.
We have definitely seen it, but it is quite the rare occurrence.
But yeah, no, that was a fantastic goal there by First Killer to finally respond to this, and the play has sort of slowed down. It's been back and forth and back and forth. The ball hasn't really seen much of the blue side. It's just First Killer putting on a ton of pressure. Oh, this is off the crossbar.
And off of the crossbar and into the net. First Killer ties the game back up.
And right there, Reddles just kind of rushed the play a little bit. First Killer did not flick on it. Reddles trying to predict what was going to happen on that one. And First Killer's starting to kind of pull ahead as far as which sentence these two were on, referring to the page. But, yep.
Oh, that's going to be another goal for First Killer on the board. 3 goals in very quick succession.
Got 3 unanswered here. Reddles didn't get the kickoff he was looking for. First Killer seems like he's kind of back in control. He realizes that one more loss and he's out. Some people would say that First Killer likes to kind of toy with his food a little bit, if you will, much like a large cat. But
yeah,
in this instance, don't think that's what's happening. I think Reddles just kind of outplayed him here in the first few games, and now Reddles has a chance to score here if he'll take it.
No, First Killer took quite a while to recover there. Reddles is going to play it slow regard, bumps him into the net, but the ball hits the crossbar and on its way out, and Reddles doesn't get back in time to stop the shot from coming out, and First Killer extends his lead to 2.
Yeah, both of them tangled on the flip here. It's just that First Killer reacted first, and I think Reddles was out of boost as well, or very close to it. Yeah, he was. So there was just no way for him to get there in time, and like you said, a 2-goal lead now for First Killer. It's a 4 of a kind of 2s.
We have 2 minutes and 30 seconds left on the clock.
Oh!
A bump from First Killer. Resets the ball. Drives it back, starting to burn the clock early. And I don't think we've ever seen him do this that early, which just kind of goes to show that he really has a lot of respect for Reddles.
No, it really does. I mean, These guys have met so many times in these tournaments, played a lot of ones together. I don't know if they're sworn enemies or anything like that. I don't think we've seen a whole lot as Reddles.
Oh, tries to go for it again, but this time First Killer just dodging out of the way at the last second. And a quick turnaround play.
A clean rivalry, I would say. Healthy.
Very healthy. And fun to watch for us.
And you don't see them trash
Oh,
talking on
good block
Twitter.
from Reddles.
You don't see them going crazy on Reddit against each other. This is definitely one of those rivalries that is just straight healthy.
What a shot. Whoa, Reddles, fantastic stuff. Beautiful wraparound, and the angle is perfect.
No, I honestly thought First Killer was going to flip for this. He just double jumped. Ouch.
And we've seen this before in game number 2. Reddles was able to tie things up just before the game ended and then take it in overtime. Wins the contest in the midfield line. No boost left for First Killer. Doesn't even need the final few seconds. We are all tied with 1:20.
I like First Killer's reaction here. He goes to grab the boost, thinking the ball was safe, and Reddles is right there. He just stops and is just like, ah, heck. That's really all you can do at that point, too. But now we're tied at 4. It's still anyone's game. First Killer could respond and put himself on the board first in the series. We'll see what happens in the next minute or so.
Save from Reddles, catches himself on the back wall. Good recovery. Flies all the way out into the midfield. I'm not sure what happened there, but he basically gave that goal up for free.
Yeah, he kind of did. Reddles just didn't quite predict where that ball was going to go. Didn't get the touch he was looking for off of the backboard. And First Killer, patient, very patient. Instead of running up to meet that play, he just stayed on the ground and saw what happened and throw it in the net. I mean, it worked out well for Reddles in the first couple of games. It's working out well for him here.
Good save. Reddles will not let this kickoff goal go in willy-nilly. Long-range shot from Reddles. Safe coming out from First Killer. Might just come down to the last few seconds yet again. The demolition. Yeah, there is an open net. He has to go for the long post. Gets the bump. It's the Reddles play to get himself back to an even scoreboard.
And I like the Steam profile here. Don't get hit. And you can see why. That's that right there. So cheeky. I love it.
Don't get hit indeed. Reddles loves to pull out this play. And it works so well for him. 5 goals apiece. 30 seconds remaining. 1 goal is separating Reddles from sweeping the reigning 5-time 1v1 champion to get himself back on the Astronauts leaderboard. 10 seconds. Will we see an overtime here? Ball is on its way to the blue half. Reddles might be getting this one. He will. First Killer can't get back, and now he will need a kickoff goal to bring this to overtime.
And First Killer had to try to recover off of that challenge. It wasn't a great recovery. It was enough to kind of fall in behind Reddles, but he didn't have the boost to go for the demo, and the demo right there would have been perfect. What a stop!
Got the ball popped up, but he gets bumped by Reddles. He has no chance of getting control over this ball, and Reddles will sweep First Killer 4-2, absolutely nothing. And he is your new Astronauts 1v1 Rocket League champion. Absolutely sublime play, cut it close on so many occasions. But in the end, the king is dead. Long live the king.
Is there a king of Spain? There's a king of Spain, right? Because El Clasico this time goes to Reddles. And, I mean, flawless execution on a staple of Reddles' play, which is to be aggressive at certain points. And that certain point tonight was anytime he went for a goal. And First Killer knew exactly what he needed to do to get the ball out of his net and away, just out of danger. But the thing is that Reddles has the perfect counter to that. And that's that jump bump thing that he's been doing all night. It's worked for him in the past. It seems like he's perfected it. I mean, we saw him do it what in his threes play. We see him do it in his twos play. And now it's converted into his ones play perfectly. Usually, Reddles is the aggressor when he plays on a team, and at this instance, he's got it to work for him. Now, First Killer's going to have to go back to the drawing board for the next 1v1 tournament.
Yeah.
Don't know when exactly that's going to be, but I can assure you the next time out, it's going to be a barn burner.
Oh, yeah. I can't wait for the two to meet again. It's always amazing to see the impenetrable wall go up against the unstoppable force this time around. Well, I'm not sure who is who, but this time around, I don't think anyone would have expected this result. Not to say that nobody would have expected Reddles to win. Certainly to say that nobody would have expected Reddles to just clean sweep First Killer, who has seemed so unstoppable in all of his other tournament appearances in the last few months. So, yeah. Reddles becomes a 3-time champion with his victory. And that is quite the sight to behold. Very, very well done. It was amazing. It was an amazing final. Even if it was a sweep, it certainly did not feel like one. And it took an overtime and 2 very, very close calls for Reddles. Get 1 goal in last second to pull it off. But in the end, he did pull it off, and good job at that. Congratulations to First Killer as well. Made it to the final yet again. He is pretty much a given in the final. Might just skip the entire tournament, just put him in the final and only play one half the bracket. Obviously, that's what's just a joke. We won't actually do that. But with how these semifinals have been looking, First Killer always has a spot in those, and he is still one of the best 1v1 players, probably in the world, definitely in an A.
And the only way to really figure out if First Killer can get eliminated before the semifinals or even in the semifinals is if, number one, someone pops off, or number two, he faces Reddles, apparently.
Yeah.
We've seen Buddy do it a couple of times where it was pretty close. We've seen a few others go up against First Killer in the semis, and First Killer is just on it. And at this point, it's starting to get a little bit late in the evening. Both these players are on the East Coast, at least as far as I remember. The Reynolds might be in the Midwest, but still, it's pretty late. And it just comes down to attrition, I think. And usually First Killer's right there. But it's pretty obvious to me that First Killer has been training for 3. So both of these guys have been, for the most part. But Reynolds has figured out, and we've seen it time and time again in his other styles of play, where he brings those bumps over and it transitions back seamlessly, whereas First Killer has had to kind of readjust himself and kind of how he thinks as far as between 3s and 1s, and it does kind of seem like he hasn't figured out how to transition that quite yet.
Yeah. I mean, there's going to be more 1v1s, and I'm sure we'll see them there. But as for this one, this is it for us. So make sure to follow us on Twitter at TeamBeyondNet to stay up to date on all the newest Rocket League news, and of course for our schedules for the next month's tournaments. We still have one more to go, which is the 3v3. It'll be on Monday, January 28th. That's in 5 days. So next week on Monday, it's free to sign up. $2,000 prize pool. If you think you can mess with the best, do go ahead and take your chance. Even if you don't think you'll make it that far, because, I mean, DreamHack is right around the corner, and teams will be looking for any and all opportunities to train as hard as they possibly can. So we might get some big teams in this tournament. You usually get a couple of big teams in these tournaments, and obviously they're going to be tough to beat. But you are going to get so much valuable experience that you cannot really get anywhere else, and experience can literally not be undervalued whatsoever. It's unbelievably invaluable. So go ahead and try your hand at that. Also, our January giveaway is underway. If you want to have a chance at winning an Astro A40 Plus Mix Amp TR, an Astro A40 TR mod kit, Logitech G703 Lightspeed wireless gaming mouse, Logitech Pro mechanical gaming keyboard, and a PowerPlay wireless Logitech charging system for all of those, then do head on over to our Twitter. You can find the link below the stream, or just visit @TeamBeyondNet and click the link on the pinned tweet. You can enter there, and one lucky winner will take home all of that fantastic gaming gear. As for us, my name's Tapash. Joining me has been Ninja Rider. You can find us at It's the Pash on Twitter and at Ninja Rider RL. Apart from that, this has been it. Thank you very much for watching. Do tune in for our 3v3 tournament next Monday. And until then, we will see you on the pitch. Have a good night.